Welcome to the Bougie Healer. I'm Gail, and we're going to talk about the split in consciousness now, moving from the third dimension to the fifth dimension, old Earth into new Earth, because something big is happening on the planet right now that doesn't really have a name in mainstream conversation. But for those of you who are awake, who have been feeling it in your body, in your sleep, in the way that the world around you suddenly feels different or maybe foreign to you, you already know what it is. Deep down, there's a knowing. We have entered this new state of being, new state of consciousness that we haven't fully landed in yet, and we're going to have to learn how to allow ourselves to feel safe in it because we've been so deeply programmed. We're coming out of the programs. We are in the middle of the split right now as we speak. And it's not a metaphorical split. It is a real thing that is happening right now in real time. It's not a spiritual concept to sit with. And it's two versions of Earth. So it's two timelines, two entirely different frequencies of reality. So it's like two movie screens that are in different vibrations. One is the world that has always been. It's dense, it's fear-based, it's operating from control, survival, and scarcity. And the other is something that humanity has never fully inhabited yet ever before. And it's a version of Earth that is built on unity consciousness, sovereign knowing, and the lived experience of unconditional love as the actual fabric of reality. And this is what we have just shifted into. So everything that's not aligned with that is going to be falling apart and breaking down. And we're going to be witnessing this in real time as we're anchoring into the new and building in this new frequency and trusting it. And it's not coming. It's already here. It's within us, and we are bringing this heaven frequency, this fifth dimensional frequency and reality through us here to be tangible in this new version of Earth. So when we talk about dimensions, we're not talking about physical locations of leaving Earth and going somewhere else. Dimensions are frequencies, vibrations, and states of consciousness. They are ways of perceiving and experiencing reality. Third dimension, 3D, is a bandwidth. It's characterized by duality. So there's right and wrong, us and them, there's winning, there's losing, there's this separation consciousness. It's rooted in time as a linear prison. And it's in the belief that you are separate from everything and everyone in existence or around you, that you are a body having a very brief, temporary experience and in a random universe that does not know your name. That frequency has served a purpose. It was basically learning for you. It was a school, a dense, yet immersive, extraordinarily challenging school. And souls line up to come here and experience it. And don't forget, you were one of those souls and you needed to experience these things. So now is an integration period of integrating all the wisdom, the lessons that you have learned so that you can be embodied in this new Earth frequency. The curriculum of the old Earth for you is complete now. 5D is a different bandwidth entirely, fifth dimension. It is not a reward or an upgrade in the way that we think of upgrades. It is a remembrance. You're remembering, you're coming home to your natural frequency that you had to forget about to learn all that you learned in the school of the 3D Earth. So it's a return to what consciousness actually is when it's not compressed into this fear. The separation dissolves and your intuition and discernment become primary sense. You feel this interconnectedness with everything that is and everyone that is and all things, not as a belief, but as a direct experience. So this split in the worlds, the earths, these different bandwidths, and states of consciousness, the thing that's happening right now is that these two frequencies can no longer coexist in the same timeline and reality. The gap between them has become too wide and too dissonant. And this is what we're experiencing, is the gap. The energetic distance between someone living fully in that 3D consciousness and someone whose light body has activated and is operating in the fifth dimensional frequency. The distance now measurable and lived reality has become too far apart. So now we're going to see a lot of things play out around this. You can feel it in a room when you're with certain people. You can feel it when you consume media. The dissonance is very physical. It's very tangible now, and you're going to be noticing more and more of the dissonance. That is the split. So it's not random timing that the split is happening right now. This has been talked about for thousands of years, and you are here living this right now as you're watching this video. For thousands of years, those have been held in the knowing that this moment was coming. Like, we knew this was coming, but it's actually here. There are ancient calendars that pointed to it. There were mystery schools that have prepared initiates for this time right now on our earth as we transition into this new earth that we've talked about for so long. And in more recent decades, through thousands of documents, hypnotic regression sessions, exploring the deeper layers of human consciousness, a remarkably consistent picture emerged. And this story has come through many people's consciousness. Souls specifically choosing to incarnate at this time on the earth, carrying a very specific and unique mission, holding a specific frequency to anchor this new earth, this fifth dimensional frequency and way of being into earth form, physical form. This is why our light bodies come online and our physical bodies begin to change, and we change so we can hold these higher frequencies. And these are the changes that we go through and all these symptoms that we talk about, the things that we experience as our body catches up with these things. So this is a time that is very real right now we can breathe into. And these are what some of the traditions call the volunteers, the star seeds, the wayshowers, the ones who felt alien to this 3D world from the very beginning. Not because something was wrong with them or they were like so different they didn't belong, but because they came in already with a calibrated frequency that this third dimensional earth had not reached yet. So they came in early. They came in to hold this light and this frequency steady until the collective consciousness was ready to receive it. And so if you're watching this, there is a strong probability that this is you, and you are one of these wayshowers or star seeds or light bringers or grid workers that are here to hold the light. You've been holding the light. You've had to go through so many things to alchemize your own density to hold more light. And the more discomfort that you felt your entire life, the sense of not belonging, the sense of seeing through the systems that others accept without questioning it, or the longing for something that you couldn't name, that was not pathology. That was preparation for the times that we are in right now. And you were not broken for this world. You were built for the next world. So this is your time. This is what you came here for. Now let's talk about what the collapse of the old earth is going to look like, because it's not subtle anymore. It's not just a feeling or a knowing that the old earth is collapsing. This is going to be seen very tangibly in real time. And the systems that have run on this planet for thousands of years, all of the financial structures, all of the political frameworks, the media, the way that the programs were put out into the minds, the medical, the educational institutions, they will be visibly, and they already are, destabilizing. And the people that are still operating from 3D consciousness are experiencing this as chaos, as threat, and as a world that is spinning out of control. That fear is real and valid from within that frequency. So when the only reality you ever known begins to crack and fall apart, it's going to feel like annihilation. Okay, but from the 5D vantage point, which we all need to remember this and anchor into this at this time, if you're resonating in that, the view is completely different. So if you feel like you're being distracted or pulled into those fear things, remember this. What looks like collapse from below looks like liberation from above. The structures are not falling apart randomly. This has to happen. They are being dismantled by the shift in consciousness beneath them that is happening through us. The frequency is the foundation of all form. And when the frequency of a civilization rises high enough, the forms that were built to maintain that lower frequency and vibration cannot hold anymore. They become completely incoherent and they contradict themselves. So they require more and more force and energy to sustain. And eventually they are complete. They don't sustain anymore. You're not watching the end of the world. You're watching the end of a world, the old world, and the beginning of something that has no historical precedent on this planet currently. One of the most disorienting parts of this time is feeling this frequency, this new frequency that's here, and feeling the gap between yourself and the people that you love. Maybe it's family members, or maybe it's a partner, or maybe it's friends or people that you've had in your life for a long time. You're going to begin to feel the dissonance more and more as you raise in frequency with this new earth vibration that is shifting very quickly right now. You'll be in a conversation and realize we're not in the same frequency anymore. We're not in the same reality anymore. It's not because they're wrong and you're right. It's because you are literally in this gap in two worlds talking to each other. It's not because you're better or more evolved, but it's because that consciousness selects its experience, and different levels of consciousness are genuinely living in different experiential realities, even when they're standing in the same room. So this is probably what you notice a lot right now when you're going out in public. You're going to notice these things more and more loudly. You might notice that certain people exhaust you now in ways that they never did before. And this is where a lot of us are learning how to draw boundaries and really start to speak our truth in the things that we really need for us to feel present and grounded in this reality. One of the most disorienting parts of this time is feeling the frequency gap between yourself and the people that you love or you've had in your life, or maybe you're closer to. Like, you will be in a conversation and you'll realize that we are not in the same frequency and we're not in the same reality right now. It's not because they're wrong or you're right, or that you know better, or that you are more evolved than them, but it's because consciousness selects its reality and experience. And different levels of consciousness are genuinely living different experiential realities. So even when they're standing in the same room, this is happening right now. You might notice this more and more as you immerse yourself in like local public places and family events, things like this. You might notice that certain people exhaust you now in ways that they never did before, because you're no longer at a resonance that can be around each other. And that being in certain environments might feel more physically draining to you, almost like you're being pulled backwards. You might find yourself suddenly unable to engage with conversations that used to feel more normal. This happens in layers for people at different levels of your awakening. And the anger, the fear-based news, the gossip, the cycles, the heavily collective narratives, you can feel the weight of that frequency in a way that you simply couldn't before. Your own entire energy field shifted and your light body really activated to higher levels. So this is not you becoming cold or mean or rude or detached. This is now discernment, where you start setting boundaries for yourself and you start disengaging from a lot of these energies that were draining and are more draining to you now. This is your energy body doing exactly what it is supposed to do. You're listening to your light body and your body and what it needs. So at the same time, you will notice the opposite happening too. A resonance with certain people that is immediate or unexplainable or profound, like strangers who you just meet and suddenly they feel like family, or it's a recognition that needs no backstory or explanation. This is your soul family binding you. And this is also part of the split. The 5D field is so magnetic and it draws whatever belongs together, and it magnetizes your soul tribe, and it brings everything into alignment that is going to be building together and co-creating in this new world. So how do you know if you're already living in the fifth dimensional 5D energy? What are the actual signs that you might notice? The first and most consistent one is a shift in how you relate to time. 3D consciousness is an experience as time as pressure, always running out of time, always behind, always chasing, always finding things that we need more time. We need more time to get more things done. But in the fifth dimensional energy, in 5D, time begins to feel more fluid. So you might start to find yourself increasingly anchored into the present moment. It's not because you're forcing mindfulness or anything, but because the past and the future simply feel less real to you. The world becomes more vivid, more textured, more alive. Everything starts to be breathing. The second sign is heightened intuition and perception. Things you used to analyze, now you simply just know. They're just there. It's just information that you know. And you feel the truth of situations before you can even explain or logically make sense. So you sense the energy of spaces, of people, of choices, and that sensing becomes a form of navigation that is more reliable than a logical one. This is a new way of operating for you. And the third sign is that there's a deep shift in what matters to you, your priorities, the things that used to drive you like status or external validation or accumulation or proving begin to feel hollow and empty, not depressing, just very irrelevant to you in your life now. And in place of that comes a pull towards meaning and purpose and service, and especially service to others and how we can better our reality and the world around us. And genuine connection towards creating the things that carry frequency rather than things that carry weight. And this is a big one that a lot of people are shifting into, maybe just what you're here to do for your purpose and moving that energy in that direction. I've been working with a lot of clients on stepping into that and feeling safe in it. And the fourth sign is synchronicity becoming very constant. And there's like so-called coincidences that will multiply synchronicities, the right information arriving at the right moment, or the right person appears and you ask a question internally and the answer will just show up externally within hours. It usually happens very quick within this energy. And this is not luck. This is 5D reality organizing itself around your consciousness, because in 5D, consciousness and reality are direct conversation. It's always interconnected, always communicating. The fifth sign, and this is one that's quieter but more profound, is a growing sense of okayness underneath everything. Even in the middle of uncertainty, even in the middle of a collapse that's happening around you or in your life, there's a ground level of peace that doesn't depend on any of the external circumstances being resolved. That is the frequency of this new earth living in your body, this foundational peace no matter what's happening. Now, here is where the real work will begin for you. Arriving in the fifth dimensional frequency is one thing, but learning to live there, this is what we're going to be mastering, to already perceive what is available and to trust it and to operate from it fully. That is the practice of this new chapter. Because here is what happens for most of us. Your light body activates, your frequency shifts, and then the old programs start dissolving, collapsing, clearing out, you're rewiring. But the nervous system, which was wired for survival and scarcity in 3D, doesn't automatically just update. The subconscious architecture, every belief absorbed in your childhood, your teenage years, every wound and every trauma that taught you that the old world was unsafe, every program that said that you had to earn your worth or control your environment or stay small and dim yourself to stay protected or protect others, those programs are still in the operating system even after the frequency has shifted. So you'll find yourself in this 5D moment feeling expanded and clear and connected, and then a trigger will hit and suddenly you're back in the old pattern. This is what I call the default setting. You'll start contracting or defending or scanning for danger. And this is when I see people waiting for the other shoe to drop, thinking something bad will happen once they are in this expansion, trying to control outcomes. So this is not failure if you experience this. You're not doing anything wrong, but this is where the real work begins. So when you have these moments and you get pulled back into the default setting of the old world version of you, the job is now to learn how to feel safe without the old programs running, to retrain your nervous system to recognize that the ground of this new reality is fundamentally benevolent. It is safe, and that the universe is not something to be survived anymore. It is something to be lived in full partnership with. It's all interconnected. Safety in 5D doesn't come from control. It comes from trust, from learning to read the field, follow the current, use your intuition and trust it, and release the 3D habit of gripping or holding on or attaching. And that's going to take practice. So don't be hard on yourself. If you're in this, it takes consistent return. It takes choosing the 5D frequency again and again in the moments when the old world is still loudly demanding your attention. And every time you choose presence over panic, or trust over control, or expansion over contracting, you are literally in that moment training your nervous system to live and sustain at a higher frequency. You are building the new earth in your body first. This is what you are here to do. So every time each one of us expands into that, we are co-creating this new earth more together. And as that foundation stabilizes within you, something else begins to open. Because the 5D shift is not only about how we relate to each other and to ourselves, but it's also about how we relate to the cosmos. We have never been alone on this planet. We have never been the only intelligence in the universe, and we know this. This is something that we all are very, very, very aware of. And what has kept that truth from the collective consciousness and out to humanity is that something that is going to come out right now is a lot of disclosure. And specifically the 3D density consciousness, which could simply not perceive or sustain galactic contact and contact with higher intelligences operating at a much higher vibrational range, could not simply understand these things. But as the frequency rises, this is going to change. And I want to talk about this as something that I'm here to teach about and remind about, that we are already seeing it in the acceleration of disclosure information that was suppressed for a long time, or in the number of people that are having genuine contact experiences. And this is something that I've experienced myself years and years ago, and have for years been experiencing this kind of contact. And this is where I got a lot of information that I'm supposed to remind people of. So you might have had contact in meditation, a dream state, an astral state, or in direct physical encounters, and in the ancient records that are being re-examined through a lens that no longer needs to explain away what was recorded. This kind of contact has already been happening. And what's changing is our capacity to perceive it, to receive it, to integrate it. And there's going to be a lot of distraction around this, but we know how to anchor in to our own discernment. This is something that I will continue to make videos and talk about as a reminder to discern and stay grounded in your truth. The higher your vibration, the thinner the veil between dimensions becomes. You get to perceive more. It's not as a phenomena to observe from a distance, but as living relationships to participate in. So consciousness speaks to consciousness. And when your field is coherent, when your nervous system is clear of all this distortion, and when you are genuinely anchored in the present and operating from love rather than fear, you become available for these contact experiences with higher intelligence beings, higher intelligence consciousness. And this is something that we all will be individually experiencing more and more, and collectively more in groups, and more open contact will take place. So this is not something that's going to happen in a long, long time. This is going to happen soon. This is where we all are headed as a species. In this lifetime, in the coming years and decades, we will be experiencing this. A more galactic, integrated civilization. Technologies that work in partnership with consciousness rather than against it. healing modalities that address the energetic body rather than just the physical body. Systems that are in co-creation, where human intention is a higher intelligence, collaborate to solve what the 3D thinking alone never could help solve for humanity. Ways of living on this earth that are sustainable, not because we forced them, but because they are aligned with the nature of reality. So this is what we will be experiencing more and more as we learn how to trust ourselves and be safe in these new frequencies, and we are not attaching to our old default settings. This is the new earth. It's not a fantasy. It's not some utopian dream or wish. It's a vibrational reality that is being built right now by the souls who came here specifically to build it. And that brings us to your role. Because this is not a passive event happening. You did not come here to witness this transition from the sidelines. You came to participate in it, to hold the frequency, to embody the new earth so fully that everyone who encounters your field is reminded, whether they have language for it or not, that something else is possible. Breathe that in for a moment. You are a wayshower, not in the sense of having all the answers or being further along or more advanced than anyone else or carrying some kind of important ego-based title. You are here to forge a new pathway. You are here to bring new information in that helps remind everyone else of the truth. You carry a frequency that others can feel. And in these times, as this split deepens, as the old structures continue their completion, and as more souls begin to wake up disoriented or searching, that frequency is needed everywhere. You don't teach the new earth primarily through words. You transmit it through your presence, through the way that you move through a room, through the quality of your attention, through what you refuse to feed and what you choose to anchor instead. The people around you that are still in 3D, some of them are not staying there. Some of them are on the edge of a shift that they haven't yet understood. And your stability, your peace, your clear demonstration that a different way of being is real and it's lived and it's available, that is the most powerful thing that you can offer any of them. The love that you hold will be felt. And you don't pull people across this frequency gap. You just can't do that. It's not your job or your role to have to do that. Consciousness moves on its own timeline. But you can be the living evidence that the new earth exists. And sometimes that is exactly what a soul needs to take that step. We are in the most extraordinary moment in the history of this planet. Right now. The split between timelines is not a future event that will be happening. It is happening right now. In every interaction, every choice, every moment of attention that you choose to direct. The collapse of the old earth is not a catastrophe that is going to be survived. It is a transition that is to be navigated with clarity, with groundedness, with a deep knowing of why you are here. The new earth is not a destination. The new earth is a frequency, a vibration, and you are already in it. You are learning to trust it. You are learning how to perceive it, learning to build your life from inside it rather than still reaching back towards what is completing. Our galactic family and the connection with galactic family is closer than it has ever been. The technologies, the way of living, the forms of consciousness that 3D could only dream of, they are moving into range as the collective frequency rises to meet them. And you, right here, right now, are part of how that happens. So if you feel ready to anchor even more deeply into the new earth and the energy of this fifth dimensional existence, I have a meditation specifically designed to help you do exactly that, to feel the vibration, to visualize it, to become part of it. And this is the Welcome to New Earth meditation that I will link in the description here in this video. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel right now to make sure you get notified when I do updates like this video. And I will do weekly meditations as well to help you move through this transition and shifts as we change our energy all the time. So remember that the new earth is already here, and so are you. Just let your body remember what your soul already knows. We're already here. Heaven is here. Thank you for taking the time to sit with me and interact with these codes. If you need any support, please feel free to reach out or check out my available offerings. I'm sending you so much love and peace and unity. We are the new earth. We are here. We are here. We are here. It is done. So much love to you. May this be for the highest good of all involved and the highest good of humanity, and so it is.